Let's work those algorithms, brother. Rock, back on SmackDown. Good or bad?
Both.
All right. Well, that's us.
See you later. No. So the thing, right, is that there was a clear pivot between The Rock coming back, WWE generating all of that fan resentment.
Yeah.
And then the WrestleMania press conference. Pivots were made during that time, clearly. Because we said all along, if The Rock comes back, is this monumentally, universally over babyface, and everyone's like, oh, it's weird that Cody relinquished the shot, but there's always next year for Cody. This would not be happening. It would be The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Yep. I'm 100% sure of it, right? Okay. Now, the problem is that to get it back on track, there is no possible way, and I will explain why, there is no possible way of sort of retroactively making Cody's decision/actions make even an iota of sense. No. He basically said, I want to take everything from you, Roman, and I'm coming for your title, just not at WrestleMania.
And I've taken some counsel. Like, I need to see the messages here.
Yeah.
Where's the book, Cody?
Yeah.
Like, I need to see what counsel The Rock gave him.
Where's the book, Pete?
Yeah.
So, because that plot hole is just there, it cannot be filled. It's like one of those bottomless hole deals. Every explanation to even talk around it or try and make sense of it just makes people collectively go, huh? So The Rock was trying to talk about sporting logic and what happens in sports and all the rest of it. And he said, when the Utah Jazz came so close yet so far from stopping the great Michael Jordan, they didn't just complain. They just got straight back up.
Yeah.
Right? Cody won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Cody won the Royal Rumble and willingly relinquished the shot. You will have a job on your hands to make that make sense, because the point I'm going to make about this is that The Rock is so great. What a great insight that is. The Rock is so good, especially as a heel, at cutting promos, being this untouchable demigod and driving fans insane.
That's one of his films.
Manipulating the audience to do whatever he wants when he wants them to do it. If heel Rock, possibly the best performer on the microphone of all time, heel Rock, can it make sense of the story or sell it or keep you under the spell? If heel Rock still makes you go, oh, you're talking rubbish and you're distracting, it cannot possibly be good.
Can I fold this into a question we've had? We were going to do this live on YouTube today.
I want to talk more about The Rock.
Well, but this is folding at that exact point you're making. So it feels relevant to bring this question in now. Thank you if you left comments before. We were going to go on YouTube and we couldn't. We had some technical issues, but we're going to
Sorry about that again.
We're going to get to those on this, so your money isn't wasted. Thank you very much for your donations. This one comes in from Andy. Referencing that specifically, Andy says, thoughts on The Rock glossing over Cody's Rumble win? As a delusional character, refusing to acknowledge it and being entitled, worked, IMO. A glib villain isn't meant to be a reliable narrator of events. Like, I know sometimes we have like reaching bro takes and it's like you're trying to make up for where they've let the logic down. There's something to that, isn't there? The Rock is so on his own planet in every respect.
Yeah, so he hasn't even watched the Bloodline saga, apparently, that he wants to that he wants to be, you know, at the epicenter of now. It's not so much The Rock's interpretation of events. I like to remember things the way they happened, not necessarily how they actually happened.
Yeah.
Right. Lost Highway. It's Cody. No one cares because Cody's still really over. Look at those Raw quarter hours. Yeah. They're ridiculous. No one really cares. It hasn't completely impacted or hasn't even remotely impacted Cody's popularity. If anything, yes, it has elevated Cody's popularity. It's hard to talk about this one. It doesn't really matter. But you still have to tell the story on the back of it. And totally, yeah. That decision has to inform the rest of the story.
That visual is lost where he pointed at Roman. Incredible visual of Roman in the skybox. Is
None of this matters, but nor does it make any sense. So you're left with this bittersweet, it'd be a shame I mean, it'd be nice if this made sense, but it doesn't. So I understand that point. From The Rock's point of view, he's completely aloof, doesn't really know what's going on. He just wants to be part of it. That's The Rock. Very superficial character and all the rest of it. It's Cody who it reflects poorly on, his decision-making. But again, how much does that matter? But we are back at a time when it's not this perfectly whole, complete, good story. It's characters that the fans are into in spite of the storytelling.
Yeah.
And we've had that for years in WWE. So if heel Rock can't square the circle and make it make sense with his impeccable delivery, you're just going to have to accept this as a flaw in the story going forward. And just at some point, accept Cody and Rock hate each other for reasons. They're having the storyline has changed for reasons. Just get on board with it from this point forward. First of all, The Rock calling people fatties. I'm sorry. It's like morphine to me. I just find it so funny.
Yeah.
I'm a very, very simple man at
Trailer
times.
Park Trash just...
Trailer Park Trash and
nostalgia for
fatties.
that.
Yeah, Trailer Park Trash and fatties, right? That's it. You've won. You've charmed me. That's enough for me. The fit just looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But the real... people have hated The Rock. Not hated The Rock, but people have come on, The Rock... Just detached from The Rock for years because of the STD stuff with Baron Corbin.
It felt both ways. He kind of came in detached, didn't he? He was an alien of all of this, wasn't he? Yeah.
But babyface return Rock era, 2016 onwards.
Yeah.
Hey, you all right. STD Corbin, all of that rubbish, not good. He could still be accused of fatty, Trailer Park Trash. He's still playing the hits. Nothing really new. It's just better material. Yeah. What really impressed me about this was that bait and switch that proved to me it's not necessarily the lines or the catchphrases. It's the way to manipulate that he's got them. The Goosebumps thing that he comes out and does was, inspired because you're still not... You're looking at the outfit, you sense something's amiss, he's going to be heel Rock. But he is... Was it WrestleMania 32 when he came back, lit his name on fire?
And
he was and he's attendance record Rock.
Yeah.
And he's all about box office history, the biggest numbers.
Trending, didn't it?
Trending. So he's always got this thing about numbers and putting over the popularity. For him to subvert that and do the bait and switch of setting of the record, guys... It's the largest gathering of inbred. I just thought that was him having fun, dialed in, really knowing how to get the heat from the audience.
Bit of Toronto about that, wasn't it?
A bit of Toronto.
Not that.
He'll never beat that. So basically, at this point, heel Rock, not bad, not good, great. Really, really funny as well. The other things that people want to talk about, I'll do very quickly twice before we get a couple more questions before we depart. People talk about The Rock, and it's not personal with Roman, but the idea that Rock just dwarfs him as a star. That is kind of true. It's unavoidable. It is what it is. It's The Rock. He outgrew WWE 24 years ago.
Yeah.
23 years ago. Well over 2 decades ago. It's just a byproduct. The problem for me is not just Roman and the fact that he's a bigger star than the guy you've been building as the biggest star since Hogan/San Martino in the fiction of it all. That's a bit of an issue, but I can't see it being that much of an issue, particularly when Roman is at the end of his run and this WrestleMania is going to do absolute massive business. And you'd be lying to yourself if when Roman and Cody do the stare down, that doesn't feel like the biggest match of the year.
Rock's not walking out with him for that singles, is he? You've got no fear of it, on the night.
Roman
and Cody.
It's going to be unbelievable.
It's going to be
so hot.
WWE.
So big.
Personified.
I've got no problems with it whatsoever. I'll tell you one thing, though. It's so weird. Critiquing a Rock promo.
Yeah.
It's The Rock. As a heel, it feels weird to do this. I really think, and there's still time to do this, and he still might, he really could have done with just pumping up Solo and Jimmy a little bit, saying how good they've done or all the rest of it, because Jesus Christ. Those, I can't remember a specific example off the top of my head, right? But when there's someone who's just turned heel, sometimes comes out with a security detail to keep the goodie who they've wronged away from them. So there's a security detail. And you just see these random wrestling trainees or locals or who you got in your school, or we saw it with like Breaker before he was on NXT TV, where you just play the security guards. Like, there's a tier below them, and on Friday it was Solo and Jimmy. The Rock, they might as well have not existed. Yes, he said the Bloodline.
Yeah.
But he didn't even acknowledge Heyman. It was just me and Roman.
So I don't.
They have to do something.
Well, so I don't think
Solo's been. I don't personally think he had it in him to be a proper main event star, Solo, ever. I thought he did really well as the silent enforcer role. But ever since he beat John Cena, he's done out, and he's in danger of looking like not a star at all.
Well, they've not even dined out on it, really. You've not moved him into it. I think he might sort of, say, for example, have a Randy Orton at WrestleMania, and that'll be...
Oh,
exactly.
I'm going.
Don't want to watch it, but that'll be presented as this big thing. Maybe, like, Randy will be there to sort of protect Cody's interest by beating him, but Solo will get the win, whatever. On The Rock's failure to acknowledge Jimmy and Solo, maybe that's the third of 3 clues. Let's talk about da clues. What do we think of the point? What do we think about I'll do everything in my power, this is the end of Cody's story? Well, that's what Cody wants to do, is finish the story and the start of the Bloodline one for that.
The end of Cody's story was halfway clever. I've said all along, as soon as they did this pivot, they're not going to not do, now that he's on the board, Rock versus Roman.
Yeah.
But the decision presumably was made, we need to do this when everyone's sort of like unanimously on board with this idea. We can't have it hijacked. It can't be bittersweet. It's too big to be bittersweet. And, we can pay off a 2-year story in the meantime.
Yeah.
And, have our cake and eat it too. So as soon as the pivot happened, I always thought Rock and Roman are going to have some tension on the night 1 tag, and then it's going to blow up. So the clues exist for a reason. Maybe Rock is in fact playing the long game. I mean, it's his words, the foreshadowing and all the rest of it. The L going up might be, he might have actually watched some of it on YouTube. He's not watching Fox for 2 hours.
Just watching us.
Yeah, he's on the board and he can't do the bloodline. Maybe it was an L or whatever. Maybe he's doing some long game sort of stuff. Either way, like, but I said that 2 weeks ago, because even before it was heavily hinted that, the Rock is not really aligned with Roman's interests, and he's probably not really in the bloodline. Even before Friday, I was of the opinion they're going to fall out in the tag, and Rock might even cost Roman. I just hope that if there's an interference, there's a little bit of back and forth between Cody and Roman after that interference, so you can tell the story that Rock's turned on Roman and that they're going to have a match at WrestleMania 41. But I don't want it left in any doubt that Cody was the better man on the night. I don't want Rock to be the difference maker. I want him to... He can interfere, or he can neutralise the interference of Solo and Jimmy. I don't want him to ref bump, rock bottom, pick you up, crossroads, because then it's like the Rock's one.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want out of this.
It's Wilborn's finish that you do the like for like. Solo yet again is in the corner, but not this time. The Rock's, the Rock's regained a sense of justice for all of this as a result.
So
of
he takes Solo out, allowing Cody to beat Roman fair and square by himself.
Yeah, and then
I have to get that right.
Roman can reflect then on how involved the Rock was in stopping his master plan with it. His master plan, which by the way is just getting people to interfere for him, and it's worked for like 4 years at this point. But nonetheless, a master plan in inverted commas. I think. Ultimately, the Rock, to your analysis of that, there was a lot to do. He didn't do all of it, but I was definitely leaning in again. I think the Rock has got more material to mine as a heel. I think it was hardly subtle. He's wearing a friggin' Versace shirt with the sleeves cut off. But there are elements where he can get funnier and sillier as a heel character, more grandiose and more believing himself to be like the High Chief of the Bloodline or whatever it is. That even then Roman on camera, all right, mate. Like, don't forget the tribal chief is. So you build that tension a little bit. There is more for The Rock to do, and I think that he didn't just give it all. I don't know how many SmackDowns they're going to do, but he didn't give it all away straight away.
I want to be a heel for a while before WrestleMania, then do the tension in the match on night 1, because heel Rock's too entertaining. We talk about trailer park trash nostalgia, fatties nostalgia. The vest gave us nostalgia for a period of my life when someone who I used to know, don't know him anymore, when we all had the dragon shirts from Top Man in the UK.
Great
that
times.
looked vaguely adjacent to what The Rock would wear on TV.
Yeah.
Once just did it unbuttoned and walked around because he wanted to be The Rock.
Like that. Please find me a picture of that.